Bismillah, my name is Mohammed Hassan Duale, and thank you, Mr. Abdul Majid. I will present the project cost management component 1 system building, the 5 million equivalent. This component supported to a government developing an operational key element of strategic policy framework for education system, which both is public and non-state providers address the challenge of access, equivalency, of coherency, accessibility manner. It will be aimed to do this strengthening and stalwart role of federal government specific. It addresses standard and policy setting to relation teachers, school management, regulation of the non-state sectors, and establishment of national student assessment system, a systematic measure learning achievement and use finding to improve education quality and increase learning for all over time. Strengthening the capacity of federal and non-state ministry education of regular reliable ministry sector and equivalency key initiative generated evidence the future of investment. The sum component 1 strengthening government stalwart role 1 million equivalent, and the sub-component will finance technical assistance to develop regulatory policy framework. First, teacher standard management. Secondly, community role and server delivery. And the third, regulation of non-state providers. Some component 2, establishing national student learning assessment, 5 million equivalent. The sub-component will support the establishment of national assessment system that aligning the new curriculum capability of generating data student learning systematic, reliable and credible manner. This project will build institutional framework for system and foster capacity of assessment system staff to analyze and utilize assessment findings to inform teacher training and curriculum implementation, delivery, better instruction, learning outcome, goal and field statement. Component 2, expansion of access equivalent schooling for disadvantaged, 22 million. This component will provide out of school children for disadvantaged background with access, good quality schooling, opportunity, no cost their families. Estimated 100,000 additional equivalent children will be enrolled primary school in 14 target districts at least 50% girls district will be selected from across the country, priority for those that have lowest enrollment status rates. Other factors consideration in direct selection of accessibility from security perspective, present of demand side intervention, equal distribution access, FMS beneficiary community, focus on girls. Both approaches will prioritize enrollment of girls, promotion of recruitment female teachers, and provision of adequate wash facility, safe learning environment, reducing distance of schooling girls by enabling them enrolling to school closest to them and placing schools close to the current and served community, provide additional incentive to non-state providers. Component 3, enhancing instruction quality, 10 million. This component will develop 2-year TBD that will deliver using blended learning approach to support 6,000 teachers to complete the program. Activity will include this assigning, development, testing, refinement, and large-scale implementation. Component 4, project management, 3 million equivalent. This current capacity at all administrative level, FGS and FMS levels, regional and district level is weak. The proposed project will likely be largest investment managed directly by Mojia and investing are required for staffing and key position delivery project successful at the same time giving federal instruction under which project will implement adequate support to FMS and district level will also be needed to ensure the project finance is used to incredible manner and managed efficiently. The project is designed to positive social impact proposed targeting poor and vulnerable population including girls and community. The project will implement the areas of fragility due to endemic poverty and acute through floods and protected conflict and insecurity, which may make indirect access to beneficiaries and challenge amplify risk related to the lack of effective stakeholders engaging community participation and grieving addressed application of other key mitigation. To mitigate this risky environmental and social commitment plan and stakeholder engagement plan have been prepared based on the above assessment and environmental and social framework standard AS1, ESS2, ESS3, and ESS10 are relevant to the project as procurement and under ASF and Mochia has prepared environmental and social community plan and stakeholder engagement plan, which will be cleared by the World Bank and disclosed before appraisal target with environmental and social management framework, which will be main guiding document for management and environmental social project. Thank you. I will call my colleague, Mr. Mohammed Umar. Welcome, Mohammed Umar.
Thank you, Mohammed Ade. I am Mohammed Omar Diriye. I need to explain two chapters of our assignment, which is the project communication management and lesson learned. So project communication management includes the process that required to ensure the timely, appropriate planning, collecting, recreation, distribution, storage, retrieval, and control monitoring to show that the ultimate deposition of the project formation. Project management managers spend most of their time in communicating with the team members and other project stakeholders, which they internally or organization level or externally in the organization. Effective communication bridge between diverse stakeholders who may have a different cultural organizational background, different level of expertise, and different perspective of interest, which impact or have the influences of the project execution. So project stakeholder management is another title I needed to explain. So the project will be implemented by the federal government, Ministry of Education, Culture and Higher Education, and the federal member of state ministries of education. The federal will be responsible for the coordinating all the project activities and overall reporting the project progress and performing the overall project leadership will be provided by the project steering committee. So the BSc project steering committee will be headed the federal government members of education, culture, higher education, and include the federal members state ministries of education. One of the prospective condition of the body is community representative. So the PSC will provide strategic direction and guidance of high-risk management and decision making of the project objective. The conclusive body will be a crucial of promoting dialogue, consensus building, and joint decision making in the key aspect of education system. Day-to-day implement of the project will be undertaken by a dedicated BMU and the federal government lane and implementing the unit of the federal level. The BMU will be headed the project director and include experts to manage key functions including financial management, procurement specialists, environment and social safeguards, monitoring and evaluation. In addition to the responsibility of the implementation 1, 2, and 4, BMU will be responsible for the coordinating of the project, activities implementing partners, arrange quarter review of the project implementation, consolidate reports from the federal components activities, and report for overall project and performance. The federal member of state level of implementation unit will be responsible for implementing and for monitoring the component of 2 activities for the respective jurisdictions. They will comprise the coordinator, procurement, safeguard and monitoring staff. Function related to federal member and federal member of states level will be implemented jointly under the common approach of the arrangement established under the RCRF and bank project. So lesson learned. What this project has been learned from. The project has developed a detailed stakeholder engagement plan, which includes the stakeholders identification and analysis summary. Plan for engagement, e.g. type of regularity, communication activities, and grievance readiness mechanism. So the SEB outlined the post-initial outgoing progress process by which the stakeholders engage to ensure the design of the project aligned with the stakeholders' current ongoing needs. So consultation has been carried out in the SEB with a variety of access, education, and mechanisms. So the GRM will also embed a wider beneficiary feedback of a mechanism would have looked, e.g. the surface standard, beneficiary satisfaction, and citizen engagement tools. To ensure closer community linkage with the GRN, the Community Education Committee will sanitize on work in the grievance readiness system and support of grievance readiness. To mitigate these risks, the GBF labor management, resettlement and security execute arrangement of being to put into place the GBV action plan that articulates the key risks and key mitigate measures for workers, the student community, as well as the GBV and service provider, and reporting the referral protocol in the event cases have been prepared. The plan outlined the communication training requirements and communities to all project-related staff, including the project workers, teachers, and schools administration. The plan outlines the communication and training requirements for the communities and the project-related staff, including the project workers, teachers, and school administrations. An accountability and response framework will elaborate the adoption of mitigation measures, including the awareness and raising, training, use of conduct of codes, and collaborating the local communities and GBVs related service providers. 2. Labor management procedures that guide the direct and indirect workers will be scored and managed fairly and humanly in the manner that reduces the harm of the workers, students, and the community is also under participation. 3. Resettlement planning frameworks outline how land acquisition is and/or restriction of land uses, and planning a framework that outlines the land acquisitions which might result in inflationary, physical, and economical displacements as needed has been prepared. It includes the protocol of voluntary land donations and agreements. 4. A security management plan outlines a measure to minimize the security risk of the project, including the protection of schools, students, workers, communities and to ensure the security of a personnel employed as part of the project. Don't use undue forces or impact negativity or communities is under the preparation. That is the end of our assignment. I would like to thank my team, Mr. Mohammed and Mr. Abdimajid, for their delightfully and highly effort of doing this assignment, and thanks for the university teachers, Mr. Gele, and the dean, Mr. Jones. Thank you so much.